Scaffoam North America specializes in scaffold sales and rental. For over 40 years, Scaffoam has developed its global footprint with physical locations in 15 countries. However, as a group, we haven't lost our family-owned roots. Serving North America with locations in Canada and the USA, we strive to offer our clients the highest caliber of products with the most professional and efficient staff. Products typically include scaffolding and heavy-duty shoring systems. Our scaffold design team and engineering group are even able to make custom solutions for customers when they're in need of a specific product that no one else provides. We are industrially focused with large infrastructure projects, including but not limited to towers, facades, bird cages, spheres, suspended scaffolds, refineries, dams, power stations, bridges, water towers or standpipes, water digesters, hoardings, stair towers, and rolling scaffolds. If you would like to learn more about Scaffoam International, please see scaffoam-rux.com. Welcome to the Sailor Jimmy Podcast, your one-stop shop for raw takes on current events, sports, news, and everything in between. Inspiring people to chase their dreams, share their success stories, and find joy in life. Season 1 is presented by Scaffoam North America. Now, here's your captain at the helm, U.S. Navy veteran, Jimmy Rogers.
Well, after 2 years of talking about it and Lindsay and I discussing starting this podcast, we're finally here, everybody. Welcome into the first episode of the Sailor Jimmy Podcast. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited. A lot of people have been asking me lately, why are you doing this podcast? And the real reason is I think that you guys deserve to hear what I have to say about sports, politics, everything going on in the world. I think you guys deserve to hear what I have to say about that. So that's why I'm starting this podcast, so you guys can hear my thoughts on everything going on in the world. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I just want to have some fun. That's really what I want to do. I think you can't have enough fun in life, and we'll see where this goes, but I just want to have fun with it. Maybe along the way we can inspire some people, help them find joy in life, and just have a good time with it. So without further ado, I want to welcome to the show my co-host for today, Caitlin Warren.
Hello. Thanks, Jimmy, for having me.
Thanks for being here. I also have our first guest here today. He's, you might know him from social media, Facebook. I don't know how to introduce this guy. OnlyFans. He's also running for governor of Texas. My good friend, Prather. Chad, welcome to the show.
I like it that you are the captain at the helm.
I love
that. I like that. And I like how all these podcasts advertise themselves as a one-stop shop, right? Everything's a one-stop shop.
What does that even mean?
But I believe that your podcast, Sailor Jimmy, will be a one-stop shop. People, you're like the H-E-B of podcasts. You're a super center.
No, but seriously, there's no theme to this podcast. It's anything goes.
Good.
So we're not going to have like it's all sports or it's all about veterans. Like we're going to do interviews. We're going to have anybody and everybody on. We're just going to have fun. So there's no...
I love it. It's a good format. I miss being able to just have fun on a show. I just do things that piss me off.
Well, talking about it, it's a new thing for me, so I'm settling in. You've been doing this for a long time. What's your thoughts and your advice on?
Just I don't have any. Look, you obviously know where you're going on this thing.
All right. Actually, I don't.
I just
my
started. Biggest thing is just make sure that you keep it in your brand, right?
Okay.
Like that's the biggest thing. The claim to success that I've had over the years is people have always said you're genuine, like you are who you are,
right?
And I can't change that. I'm not going to try to change that. So I think that's what appeals to people, and you know how to do that. That's a good thing. You've built brands, obviously.
Right.
So
but this is new for me. So like I've been on stage, I've spoken in front of people, but this is a new setting. So it's kind of like it's gonna have to take some time to get used to.
Yeah, you're going to work it out.
I'm not like a news anchor. Like I'm not used to interviewing people. But anyways.
Hey, but if you ever listen to, like, say, Joe Rogan, right? Let's think of popular podcast.
Of course.
I'm a terrible interviewer, first of all. I'm a terrible interviewer because I talk over people and I want to just have a big conversation. Rogan, what makes him so good is he doesn't really interject a whole lot of stuff. Small statements every now and then, but he basically says, so what do you think about that?
Yeah. Then he lets them run their mouth, and then that's where they get all the good content.
Yeah. And then everybody's like, we hate Joe Rogan. He's an anti this or that. Yeah. It's like, no, he just brings people on and give their opinion.
And see, I don't really think he has much of a like theme to his podcast either. It's just
not a bit.
It's kind of like anything, right?
They get high and talk for 3 hours.
Exactly.
Basically it. We're not
Is that a
high,
problem,
by the way,
right?
for the record.
We're not high.
But we are drinking
We're
scotch.
drinking scotch.
Yeah.
We're
gonna
sophisticated.
We're going to drink some of this unforgotten beer.
Let me tell you how sophisticated we are. We still have the price tags on the bottom of the glass.
Oh, let's look
How
at
much
that.
were they?
Mine's not on there, so I am sophisticated.
It's a barcode.
All right, so
Pretty soon we'll all have barcodes.
one thing I want
Very
to do.
true. Did you get your COVID shot?
No, I'm completely unvaccinated. I'm pure blooded. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my vasectomy reversed because I think that pure blood sperm is gonna be the new crypto.
Are you hearing this? He's getting it reversed. Are you okay with this?
Yeah, she's 100% okay with it.
How do you reverse it?
okay.
How do you reverse that?
They have to take some staples out. Well,
Instead of
it's
snipping,
gotta
they
be
just
painful.
glue it back
They
the
put
other
it-
way.
they, you know,
That's what I think, right?
kind of
Oh, they
take-
just reconnect it and glue it, tie it.
So whenever I got my vasectomy, which has been quite some time ago, at least 10 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. After 5 kids, it was time. I said, look, I don't want to just be snipped and clipped. I want to be barbed wired, landmined. I don't want anything get through there.
Right.
Like I want them to have to do.
We got to
retinal-
make sure
but now
they're
you're
not
having second
mine.
thoughts.
No, I'm just thinking. I think at some point in time, if you can sell pure blood sperm on the black market,
Like, are you saying that it's like your sperm's worth something?
yeah, because I'm unvaccinated.
No.
Governor
Pretty
of
soon.
Texas,
I thought it was because of
sperm.
how talented you are,
No,
how skilled you are at everything.
nobody wants this genetic makeup.
Oh, but shit. Better than some others.
So a lot of people talk to
Could have
that.
like Bernie Sanders DNA.
That's true. A lot of people
But
do
got a summer
talk
home.
that getting the COVID vaccine actually reduces the chance of you having children. So it's interesting that you bring that up because it could be something that could be sold for tons of money.
Pure-blooded, baby.
We're
That's
going
why-
on auction soon. So.
That's why I haven't got it because I haven't had kids yet.
So Jemmy and Chad, just for the record, we have pure sperm in this room. So
Yeah, I mean mine's blocked off.
I mean,
but
I'm 34 and I haven't had a kid yet. I may be shooting blanks. I don't know.
Yeah.
I need to get a
Are
test.
you trying to have a kid?
Lindsay
Ooh.
keeps talking about wanting to have kids. I just not ready to pull the trigger yet.
All right.
But I'm having too much fun in life. I get to do what I want. I have to find a babysitter.
Yeah, there's a lot.
You know, when you get a kid, everything changes.
yeah, I think I got made fun of for that last night. I have two.
She couldn't
so
stay and hang out last night because she had to go home and
couldn't.
be a mom.
I had to go home and babysit.
Boring.
My own kids.
These kids are a drag, man. I do. I have 5 kids. I got 4 biological kids. We were talking earlier before we started. I'm pretty proud of those kids. They're older now, and, you know.
We were
I got,
talking,
my son is ranked 7th in the nation in mathematics for the last
Wow.
5 years. So
That's awesome.
That's some pretty good
I
sperm.
hate math.
That's great sperm right there. Are we listening?
Math was my worst subject.
We don't have to find the Asians now. We can just go to Chad. He's
Well,
good
he does
at
look
math.
like he looks like our old mailman Ping. So I don't know. He
You
may
were,
not be
you were
mine.
saying that your daughter's a teacher now.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel old?
Yeah, like I still send her money twice a month just because I want to still feel like I'm her dad, right?
Okay, so you stop sending money.
Then she's an adult.
That's like when I married Lindsay, her dad, they cut me off completely. Like
Really?
They were giving her money and stuff, and like then we got married. He's like,
She's
"All right."
yours now, buddy.
He's like, you're on your own, man. Like
Here you go. Take care of her.
no more of anything, but
Talk about cutting the apron strings.
yeah. Anyways, we've done well. I want to do something fun with you guys. Or here, I'll let you ask. We'll do this with Chad. I brought some rapid fire questions for you, Chad.
This is always scary.
All right, you ready? Don't be dodging answers either.
I tell the truth.
All right.
We've already talked about my sperm. What can I be hiding?
What was your first job?
First job. Well, my father and my whole family they were in construction, so they made me work.
Right.
Right. So I was the kid on 6-year-old in with the broom in his hand on the construction site. Yeah.
I remember when I met you the first time, or one of the first videos I saw. I don't know if you told me it was in person or I saw it in a video. But before you had your first video go viral,
Yeah.
you were working in corporate America.
Yeah.
Doing something. I don't know what that was, but you kind of.
I was with Grainger, which is a Fortune 300 company. I mean, it's a $12 billion a year company, and that was my first foray into the corporate world. I'd never, as an adult, I've always been an entrepreneur,
right?
And I kind of went. I'd gone through a divorce, and I just was experiencing some burnout, and so I said, "Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go be like the rest of the world instead of busting my ass to make it on my own. I'm just gonna be like the rest of the world, go get a paycheck." That lasted 4 years. I hated my life.
So when you left that job and said, "I'm gonna do my own thing," was it like? Did you have any like blanket, like safety blanket, or you just said, "I'm going to go do this"? And
as far as now, what I'm doing, like when I stepped out of that, or when I went into corporate?
Out of that, was that like?
Well, I tell the story about when I stepped out of corporate America because I was killing it. I'm a sales guy, right? So it was a sales job with a Fortune 300 company. I was killing it.
Right.
I destroyed it.
Right. But you had to go to work every morning.
I had to go. I mean, I covered a big territory. Right. I can't imagine. So I was selling. For those of you who don't know, this will be interesting in a moment. Grainger sells MRO, maintenance, repair, and operations supplies. So everything that keeps a facility up and running, from the light bulbs to the filters to the screws to the personal protection stuff, the PPE stuff. We hear about that now with the masks and the gloves.
Of course.
I can't imagine how well some of those salespeople did when COVID hit. And suddenly the masks, there was a mad rush on masks.
Well, they use a lot of that stuff in the military, too.
Yeah, they do. And then so Grainger has their military accounts that they call on. And then, of course, they've got, they call that government sales. Sure. And so they do all that stuff. But, yeah, so for me, I did 4 years in the corporate world, and I just said, nope, not going to do this anymore. That's not who I am. Right. It's not true to me. I'm an entrepreneur. And so I said at the time, I'm just going to go make a living being myself. And somebody at the time said, well, what's the street value on your personality? And I said, well, we're going to go find out. Yeah, I've done it before, so I'm going to do it again. So with all the stresses that are out there, I wouldn't change a single thing about, I bitch a lot. Yeah. It doesn't change anything. It just feels good to bitch sometimes.
I feel like that's one of the reasons like this podcast can be so great for me because I can come on here and just I can just let it off, get off my chest and bitch and complain.
You mentioned running for governor, and I have been for the last year, the last 18 months, but significantly for the last year. And, people say, well, he's just an internet sensation, or I get introduced that way. Internet personality, which is a 21st century way of saying you're unemployed, but you're popular. And so, they forget the fact that I'm an entrepreneur. They forget that I've built successful businesses. I'm a small businessman. We still kill it in a lot of different ways. Not just anybody can go out there and have an entertainment business and be successful at it.
Of course.
But we've been able to do that. I just remind people, I say, with all of this stuff that's going on, people want to belittle what you do, right? So I say, I get to run my mouth for a living. Right. It's very therapeutic. It's not always profitable, but it does feel good to be able to run your mouth for a living. It's better than paying a therapist. And so people belittle what this is. Yeah. We are taking advantage of something that other generations didn't have access to. So I used to look at social media, Facebook, and I can remember back in 2008, 2009 going, there's a way to make a living with this, but I don't know how yet. But I'm going to figure it out because it fascinates me. And so for me, social media became a big sociological experiment. How do people, what triggers them, what makes them mad, what makes them push a button, click like, what makes them spend their money, what gets people going. And so for me, I just always knew there was a way to take the tools that were available and build a career out of it, build a life out of it. So there's something to be said for that. Because if it were easy, everybody could do it.
Everybody would have 1 million followers.
Everybody could do it, right? So I just started, last week I started a new Facebook page. People are like, God, you got 9 already. Why do you need another one? Every Facebook page I own has a purpose, right? Yeah. So we started Chad Prather Unapologetic. And has a specific purpose on it. And I've grown it to 70,000 followers in less than, in 10 days, in the last 10 days. Wow. Not everybody can do that. No. Not everybody knows how to do that.
Is that because of the other does the other platforms help you? Like,
I haven't shared it a single time.
Okay.
I just know
so this is all organically.
I know how to grow
All right, good.
pages.
Let's talk after the show. I need some more followers.
I know, and I'll show you how to do that. It's a very simple thing.
I hope bringing you on the show,
It's a very simple thing.
And we can monetize this. I just want y'all to know.
100%. Yeah, there's a way to make money. And so people sit back and they're like, God, he doesn't do anything for a living. And I'm like, except stand in line at the bank to cash checks. Yeah. I mean, I sat in my truck before I walked in here and deposited a $5,000 check. I mean, that doesn't just fall out of the sky.
Don't you love when people say, must be nice?
Yeah. Must be nice. Or, here's a better one, Jimmy. Here's one I've heard my entire life. You have too much time on your hands.
Oh, wow.
To do what? To create something that's going to bring me money?
Yeah.
I mean, it's wealth generation, right? And so people don't understand that, and I always come back and say, yeah, I got too much time on my hands. I can go stand in line at the bank to make deposits. And that's not braggadocious. It's not an arrogant thing. It's just that's what entrepreneurs do.
People say that, though. It's so annoying because it's like they think you're being arrogant or you're not doing anything. You're just out running the roads, having fun, doing comedy. They don't know behind the scenes like the time and effort you put into your craft.
I crashed my truck yesterday, or somebody crashed into me.
It's always a miserable.
And it's like trying to get up and down the road. There's a lot of things that happen in life is the point while you're running and gunning. But there's an old story about one of the board members or whatever was taking the board of directors for IBM way back in the day. They were taking them on a tour of one of the headquarter facilities or whatever, and they were taking all these board members through and showing them some executive offices and stuff like that. And that one of the board members happened to look in, and they saw this guy with his feet up on the desk, and he just kind of had his hands behind his head, and he was kind of kicked back in his office chair. And they walked on, and the board member walked up to the guy who was giving them one of the head dudes, and he goes, "That guy in there, he's not working.
Yeah.
What's he doing?" And they said, "Well, that guy, he made the company over $1 billion last year with one idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's working.
Yeah.
Trust me.
He can put his feet up.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there thinking. So one idea last year made the company $1 billion. But people don't think about things like that. My grandmother used to say, I can remember, sometimes I'd go help out. Like I remember one time we were putting a new foundation on a new part of a building for the church I attended, right? And I was out there digging the foundation one day. My grandmother, she walks past, 'cause she's a member of the church. She's going in there to do something. And she goes, "Now you see how the rest of the world works." And I'm like, you know what? Then why aren't all the ditch diggers out here millionaires?
Right.
They're not.
You know what, Chad? I've been in that, I'll wrap a care package at Boots for Trips now. Every now and then. I don't do it a lot. I don't do it a lot anymore, but somebody will catch me wrapping a box, and they'll be like, "Oh, I got to get a picture of this. Look at him. This guy's actually working today. He's actually doing a box." I'm like, "Do you know who invented this fucking box? You know who started this box 7 years ago?"
Where the idea was birthed from.
You know why these boxes exist?
Do you know why we have sponsors from Cavenders and Planet Ford and Mobs? I want to be so mean, but a lot of them are volunteers.
You're not working
and stuff.
hard enough.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those people.
You do have people that they're well-meaning. They don't know what else to say.
Right.
But yeah, the richest people on the planet, they're the ones they're ideas.
Right. Yeah.
They're ideas.
Let's hit him with some rapid. We're supposed to be 1 or 2 word responses. We kind of dove off there, but go ahead.
Yeah. Let's get some fun ones in here. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. 100%.
Okay. If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be?
Money's the easy thing to say, right?
Health.
I would definitely go with health. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. And here's my
He's
argument.
like, "No, I want to feel like shit."
Here's my argument there. Magic Johnson got AIDS a long time ago, and that dude's still kicking.
But he had the money.
So that tells me money kept him healthy,
Exactly.
right? So if you're going to get AIDS, get the Magic Johnson kind.
Yeah, because if you got money, you'll be healthy.
Right? Get the Magic Johnson kind of AIDS. That's why I'm not taking virus information from Fauci. I'm taking it from Magic Johnson.
Yeah, what's his secret?
That dude knows how to survive with a virus.
He should start his own
100%.
Yeah, his own shot.
I gave that joke to Jesse Payton a year ago. He uses that on stage now about taking virus advice. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to
I've heard him say that.
It's a good one.
I gave him that joke.
I hate the Lakers anyways.
Name a person who inspires you, Chad.
Gosh, the people who inspire me. The people who inspire me, or the person who inspires me, is unknown, right? So I have a mentor, Wade Trimmer. I'll give him a shout out, who was a pastor. He 50 years in the ministry, and he and I used to travel all over the world. So when people hear me talk about my experience in third world countries for 15 years, it was always with him most of the time. So, I was inspired. And then the guy that inspired him, so he was kind of like a spiritual grandfather to me. So this is multi-generations. I can remember being with those guys in the Philippines.
Right.
And we've got to ride in the back of a truck, like the bed of a truck. And these guys are older.
Sure.
And they're riding. And we're like, "Hey, man, you okay? You okay? You riding okay?" He's like, You sure this is it's just another way to spend a day.
Yeah.
So that's always been my philosophy. People hear me say that all the time. It's just another way to spend a day.
Yep.
So no matter how bad things are going.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah. But you have to have the backstory on it.
Don't you have a T-shirt company?
I do have a T-shirt company. Yeah.
That's all you do, man, is make T-shirts.
That's all I do.
Jesus,
he's just
lazy.
a T-shirt salesman. He's only running for office to sell more
T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Got rich off T-shirts. Doesn't do anything. Anyway, speaking of running for office, so you're running for governor of Texas.
Yeah.
Tonight, I'm hosting a fundraising dinner for you.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Super excited. We got a good crowd coming. Some people have already called me today about the questions they want to ask you. So I'm ready for tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. But why run for governor? People think it's a joke and
they do.
It's a publicity stunt. But tell them why.
Somebody's got to step up and get government out of our life. Right. All right, government overreach is insane.
Amen.
So people think that Texas is immune to that, but it's not. Texas has a problem. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, spending in the last 7 years in the state of Texas on the part of the government's increased by 19%. I'm going to put a number to that in a minute. But our growth population-wise has only been 5.4%. So what that number should tell people who, if they're paying attention, is Texas is about to be exactly like California, where our spending is expanding beyond our growth. So we can't keep up with that. So that 19% equals out to $48 billion in extra spending under the current governor. So what that tells me is government's growing, right? On September 1st, we woke up to 666 new laws in our life. That's an interesting number.
And then most people don't even know that that's happening.
No.
Of course.
Yeah. So nobody went to bed on August 30th thinking, man,
660?
I hope there's 600 new laws in my life tomorrow. But there are. So we do that, and we're just saying, oh, well, politics is something that those guys do sometimes. Most people don't know that the legislature in Texas meets every 2 years. They don't know that we have to have a balanced budget constitutionally. They don't know that those people are down there making fun of them in Austin. They don't know about the government overreach. They think that those shutdowns that happened last year with the quarantines and the mandates and deeming people in their businesses non-essential was just something that should have happened. No, it's a constitutional violation. If you keep letting the government do that, you relinquish your freedom. You got to fight to get it back because they don't give it back to you. Once they take it, it's the same as your money. They're not going to give you a refund. Say, oh, we didn't spend all this money this year. Let's give it back to the people of Texas. They don't do that.
Well, they used to,
so generous
when I was
of our government.
Yeah, when I was serving in the military, the CO used to say, hey, we got to spend this money.
Got to spend it.
If we don't, the federal government's not going to give this command the same amount of money next year. They're going to cut us back because we only spent this much.
Yeah.
So
I give, in a nutshell, the biggest budget item on the budget every 2 years is something called operational fund transfers. We spend $124 billion every 2 years on operational fund transfers. No one knows what that is. Nobody knows, but I'll tell you what it is. You have all these committees and all these state agencies, and they all have their budgets. All right. So if this one runs out of money, that one over there is going to make sure that operationally they're going to transfer those funds over so that they make sure that that keeps on going. And to make sure it gets spent. So that way the next 2 years when they do the balanced budget again,
they get that same money.
They can ask for more. So that's what I mean. It's constantly governmental overreach. So last year or year before last, July 2020, I was in South Dakota. And my phone goes off, and Greg Abbott was deeming 51% businesses, which is those.
I remember.
They rely on alcohol sales. 51% of their business is alcohol sales. So that's your live music venues, that's your bars, it's your entertainment. Shut those down. Deemed them non-essential. Churches were shut down. Gyms were shut down. I don't want to go to the gym, but constitutionally, if I sign a contract with the gym, the contract can't be deemed null and void by the government. That's That's a constitutional violation.
Right.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I jumped on Twitter and I announced. I said, I'm going to run for governor in 2022 to primary Greg Abbott. All right. So it blew up. Mm-hmm. A lot of people thought it was going to be a joke, a popularity contest, a get-rich idea, which I don't know how that works. But if anything, I've quite honestly lost, or I failed to make at least $1 million in the last year.
Has running for governor?
Oh wow!
Yeah,
it's cost you personally
at least $1 million.
Yeah.
In the last year.
Right.
Just money that I was not able to go get by the very fact that I'm running for governor.
Right.
Okay. So, and there was nothing out there, for those who asked the next question, there was nothing out there that replaced that.
Well, like tonight, Saturday night, and you're doing a campaign fundraiser for your campaign instead of doing a show on stage somewhere.
Exactly.
Making, $15,000, $20,000 or whatever you make. So, yeah, it makes sense.
So, and I haven't been doing shows.
Right.
We've been doing about one a month.
Right.
And I do that because I have people who work for me, and they like to work.
And
They
people-
didn't run. They're not running for office.
And that's another thing people forget, that you got other people that rely on you
Yeah.
to be on stage making money so that they can
Right.
live.
So and then I canceled 2 shows for March, which were in California because the vaccine requirements and passports.
Just sell more T-shirts. Dude.
And yeah, exactly. So the venues came up with it. The city of Redding and the city of Modesto, California. They came up in the last couple of weeks. They said, we're requiring vaccine passports if you're going to go to a place that seats more than 500 people. Stupid. So I said, hey, my policy.
Then
I'm not
you're not going to
going
do a show there.
Not going to go.
Yeah, I saw your
So
post.
we canceled them.
Yeah.
And, that's roughly, I don't know, 40 grand. And you know what? That's people like Party Foul Steve who can't go to work now.
Right.
Guess who's going to pay him? Me.
You.
Out of my pocket. You know why? Because I'm a generous God.
Right. Let's ask Steve now.
Like King Xerxes in the movie 300, I'm a generous God.
No, but you had to stand for something.
And this is why you're running for governor.
So, yeah, exactly. I am a benevolent dictator.
So Texas, we will have a very good man in lead if you vote for him.
So I'm a non-politician. I have no political career aspirations. I'm not. And the other thing is, like, these guys that are spending millions of dollars to campaign, millions upon millions of dollars to campaign. And by the way, that's everybody but me. I just think that if they're going to go out there and throw your money away that you donate to them, they're going to do the same thing if you put them in office.
Right.
They're going to take money that's not theirs and they're going to mishandle it.
Right.
So I have a small government passion. But again, people don't like that. They don't
Okay,
like that.
so if you don't win, are you going to stay involved in politics? Maybe run again in the future?
I'm not going to make any claims about running again, but I will never look away from state politics in
Right.
Texas. So that means if I never do another live quote show ever
Sure.
again, that's one thing. I may never do, but I will always be actively involved in state politics in Texas. Because
You're just not going to commit to running again?
we've got to hold their feet to the fire.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, look, if I lived in your area right now and I was not running for governor,
In Montgomery County?
I probably would have stepped up and ran against Dan Crenshaw,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
right? Because he's lost his
He's
freaking
taking
mind.
he's taking a lot of heat right now.
And Dan, I used to
Yeah.
consider Dan a friend.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of things together over the years.
Do you think he's kind of just fallen into that like establishment, like
He's lost his freaking mind, dude?
I gotta fit
Kinda
in with
seems
everybody
like
else?
it,
in DC?
because what he ran for, and I think what we all voted for him for, was completely different man.
Yeah.
So
Completely different. And listen, Dan and I have sat there drinking whiskey together. We've gotten drunk. I mean, Dan likes to go out without the eye patch on. He puts in the fake eye, and so he's got his seal trident right there. And every now and then when we're drinking, it would kind of get off center, and I just want to poke
Do you
it
like-
to get it over. So look, it was kind of freaking me out. That black marble eyeball.
He's like, what are you looking at?
Like, bro, I don't know where to look. But and you know what? Dan's always been a dude who could handle that. He's a good humor guy, right? Dan's
Well, he's a Navy
he's
SEAL,
a good
man.
dude, right? He's just a good hang. And I've done stuff with Dan over the years, and I'm like, who put their arm around Dan Crenshaw and led him down the path of destruction? Because it just doesn't make any sense right now.
that's politics.
And they were trying to ask me if we were discussing speakers for the gala this year, and they're like, what about Dan Crenshaw? I'm like, we can't right now.
No, dude, it's so again, I'll delve into it. You can tell me to shut up if you want, because I mean this is local politics. But Morgan Luttrell, of course, is running for Kevin Brady's old seat. Right? There's like 12 people running for that
Shut
seat.
up about Morgan. I'm kidding.
And my thing about that is
Morgan's
it's
a good friend.
But I know he is. He's a
Yeah.
friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so, but we told Morgan, we're like, dude, you're gonna have to separate yourself from
Yeah.
Dan a little bit,
Right.
Because it's just, and I get that's your buddy.
Yeah.
But you got to separate yourself from Dan.
That's
This is
probably super
politics
difficult,
right
but yeah, if you want to be successful, I think so.
now. And I get that he's fought consistently for, that friendship, and I have too. I've taken a lot of heat.
But
Like,
Dan, I think Dan can recover. He's just gonna have to. He's gonna have to change his mindset, and he's gonna have to
gonna have to
speak
get
out.
back
Huh?
to
You can always. You can always.
right?
You can always.
unless what he's doing is fundamental to who he,
He is.
now.
Yeah.
And that's
But I
what's
just.
scary.
I guess that's what
I don't.
we don't
I don't.
know.
I don't want to
right?
believe that right now.
Of course.
I don't like believing it,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, I'm believing it.
Are you?
I am.
So I guess what I'm hearing here is that if you become governor, that's not going to happen. You're going to stay to your authentic self because,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan of yours. I watch
Well,
your
thank you.
shows. I love your crassness. I love your
Yeah.
authenticity. I mean, you are true to yourself and your own brand.
Well, the
so,
thing that sets me apart
He's gonna
from
fall
other
into that swamp too.
candidates, the thing that sets me apart from other candidates is there is a long, very public track record of things I've stood for. It's unchanging. Like I'm the same person as far as my convictions 8 years ago when things started going public for me in the way they have to this day. I don't say anything any different. So to back that up, I love being politically incorrect, and I don't believe that you can solve a complex problem unless you are politically incorrect. Well, you can't pander to the woke mob and make a difference.
Donald Trump was very successful not being politically correct.
Quite honestly, you're right. You're right. Quite honestly,
and that's
I don't know if you know this.
I feel like you're kind of like running for governor as like he was running for president.
Yeah,
like you're like you don't give a shit what you
I don't
say.
give a shit. Yeah. Here's the thing.
And so people like that though.
Well, people say, well, he can't get along with the left. I don't want to get along with the left. The progressive left they've lost their minds. They're confused with gender pronouns and identity issues, and they're worried about women being, or men being on women's sports teams. I don't want to get along with that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you think that's right?
No. I mean, the dude on the girls' swimming team in Pennsylvania is walking around with his pecker hanging out in the locker room.
There's that word, pecker.
And I told you on his show, he's talking about if he was governor of Texas.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
it's that word, pecker.
Pecker.
I like that word.
But that's the whole thing. So like I miss classical liberals.
Yeah.
JFK classical liberals, people who believed in responsibility instead of this welfare state, So I don't get along with that. I don't get along with the stimulus check mindset of I'm going to let the government take care of things. I drove from Canton, Texas down to Corpus Christi, Texas on Wednesday. That's a long drive. And not a single mile of that was smooth, right? Those roads are crap, bro. Yeah. And why do we continue to let government mediocrity be the standard for which we
for
allow
as much money as
we
spend? We should have nicer roads.
100%. But you know what we should do is so like that dependence on the government is what I'm trying to say. I can't get along with that.
Right.
Why aren't we incentivizing the private sector? Believe it or not, we all like to drive our cars. There are people out there who are better than the government at making the earth flat for us to be able to drive on it, right? But we don't do that. We rely on government mediocrity. Look at the Postal Service. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. They lost 52 packages of mine a couple of weeks ago. In one shipment, there was 52 packages in
Is
the
it
bag.
me or every
like,
time?
Oops.
Is it me or like when you go to the post office, they're like rude?
Always.
Like people hate working there. Like it's like
that's why
it's like if you don't like
postal, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's like if you don't like your job, then go work somewhere else. Like
it's a coin term.
You chose to work here.
But
I'm coming
days,
in.
Listen,
like we're delivering packages to the troops, and they're like getting mad because we're bringing in like 50 packages.
I went to Lids.
Don't want to do their job.
Money.
I went and bought this hat a little while ago at Lids in the mall. That bitch wasn't happy about her job either. Nobody's happy about working anymore.
Well, then do something different.
Dude, I had to ask: are you an actual Astros fan?
I'm a
Hell
Texas
no. He likes the
fan.
Rangers.
Okay.
I do like the Rangers, but God,
he's just
suck.
in Houston tonight, so he's playing to the crowd.
We did go to the World Series, so
we cheated.
It's easy to be a
I'm
bandwagon
a baseball
fan.
At the end of the day.
Nice.
I'm just a baseball fan.
Is baseball in your background?
Yeah. So that was, I went to Georgia to play baseball. I actually I turned down 2 scholarships to Clemson and numerous scholarships overall to go, and I walked on at Georgia to play. I went to Georgia because of a girl. By the time she got there, we weren't even together anymore.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know. But I yeah. She had another year left in high school. I took off. I went to Georgia thinking she was going to get there. I didn't even talk to that girl by the time I got there.
So you tried to walk on the baseball team?
Oh, I did. I successfully walked on.
What position?
I was a catcher. So yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, there you go. You're from the Navy. You understand
completely.
Yeah,
completely.
60 sailors.
Love my Marines.
60 sailors go down on that sub, and 30 couples come off.
Oh man!
So I'm the only catcher.
You've been out to sea for 45 days.
Apparently, so.
Hey,
it gets a little desperate.
Like Bill Cosby said, either we're screwing or I'm screwing. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
I don't know if I can tell. Bill
I don't know if I'm allowed to laugh at this right now, but I am.
No, you're look, you're part of that Me Too movement. We know it. You can't be laughing at that stuff.
Hey, listen, and to all the woke mob out there that wants to come after me for even making jokes like that, let me tell you something. You're defending a dude's right to walk around with his Franks and beans hanging out in the girls' locker room, so shut the F up.
Oh,
Put that in your pink pussy hat and smoke it.
Oh, my gosh. Boots for Troops are going to lose half its donor base in the first episode of Say Jim.
I don't think anybody donating to Boots for Troops is wearing a vagina hat. I still think having a foreskin rally would work. Guys.
If we're gonna have these conversations, let's be politically correct, anatomy correct. It's vulva. Thank you. It's a vulva hat.
No,
I've never been so turned on
Chad
the
Prather
podcast.
doesn't do that.
Yeah, Chad Prather doesn't do vulvas. Hey, remember what we were talking about? Never-ending supplies of vulvas.
What is
Back
a
to
vulva?
that question.
Yeah.
What is a vulva?
That is what you think
know
is a
it.
vagina.
Huh?
That is what you think a vagina is. This is true anatomy over here. I am a.
Okay.
It's the most glorious.
Can you put them in a
thing
care
on the planet.
package?
Can you put it in one of the boxes?
They are called fleshlights. Yes, we probably
Okay.
could, Jimmy.
You ever had a dude? Have you ever had a deployed soldier ask for a fleshlight in one of your boxes?
A flashlight?
Flesh,
No. They know better.
a pocket vulva.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, you could probably.
Lindsay'd be at the store shopping.
You could probably send
have
it.
the cart.
Man, that'd be great.
Should I get a black one or a pink one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
the Great American Challenge.
Get them both.
Get them both.
Anyway, so
Do you think
vote
Don-
for me, Prather2022.com. I'm not the governor you need. I'm the governor you want. Let's face it.
It's true.
No, listen.
Are you? I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna? Do you think Donald Trump's gonna run in 2024?
100%.
Do you think
I
he's just
hope he
buying
does.
time right now, or what?
No, he's planning to run. His ego will not let him not run.
Yeah.
I wish he wasn't.
He wants so bad to like come back and win because he lost.
I wish he wasn't. I would much rather see somebody like a Ron DeSantis do it because again, Trump's demeanor doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like he's a great comedian in that regard. His timing is impeccable. I mean, just go to one of his rallies. I mean, he's phenomenal and that stuff. And people, they get upset. He's people are so small-minded not being able to separate the two things, right? That doesn't bother me. Obviously, with the conversation we just had, those things don't bother me.
Of course.
Right.
But the thing about Trump is I don't want to spend another 4 years with a man trying to just prove that he was right for the sake of his ego.
Right.
Conservative principles, regardless of who's enacting, conservative principles will cause the nation to be successful. We've seen that over and over again. Look, we're sitting here with 8% inflation. Everything's through the roof. People can't, it's a joke. Yeah. COVID's not under control, whatever their standard is for that anymore. I don't even pay attention to it, but it's not under control. Donald Trump passed 5 bipartisan bills when he was president for COVID relief packages.
Right.
Joe Biden hadn't even been able to do that.
Well, Joe Biden's he
that's a
he don't even
layup.
know he's president. Somebody has to tell him every morning that he's president.
Yeah. I mean, he
gotta
can't
remind
even-
him
the dude
he's
can't even
I
make
keep
a layup,
forgetting
bro.
he's president.
Good morning, Joe. Don't forget you're president of the United States.
Well, he keeps calling Kamala Harris the president. President Harris. He's done it a half a dozen times in press conferences, referred to as President Harris.
It's a lot easier to let her do it.
Just
you know?
let her. Well, she's
I'm not
done
gonna
a lot
lie
of
though.
things.
I miss Donnie T.
I miss Donnie T too.
I mean, it's just so fun to watch.
just put him back on Twitter for.
I just want to see some debates.
Yeah.
Like,
I really think he's a great businessman. So, I mean, honestly,
here we go.
Well,
I can't wait to see a decade from now what
He's
it
a great
actually did for our
businessman,
economy. I mean,
Anyway.
maybe an ego thing, but I would like to see what it did.
Yeah.
And you're right. I encourage. So he owns Mar-a-Lago. Some people need to go back and just the history of how he came to own Mar-a-Lago is amazing because they didn't want to sell it to him. It was
Right.
a historic site. They were making it into a horse, but it was falling apart. And so he was like, "Okay, I'll come in and buy it." And they were like, "No, we're not going to sell it to you." So his deal was he went and was going to buy the property next door to Mar-a-Lago, and he was just going to just
Build it,
overshadow
yeah.
the whole place,
Yeah.
right? And they were like, "Ah, crap."
I guess we have to sell it to him.
Yeah. So
That's the Donald Trump way, though.
that's
And
he's
exactly.
that you read
That's
Bully
the
ball.
business
Bully
way
ball.
right
I
there.
mean, read Art of the
Yeah,
Deal.
yeah.
Here's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Here's a WASP
Right.
who can go into New York City. He's not Jewish. He's not Italian. He's not mafia. Not any of those things. He can go in there into New York City and do what he accomplished is amazing. And then as a billionaire, appeal to the toothless people out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like redneck America, my
Right.
people,
Exactly.
my people.
As a billionaire.
And they're related. They come out with their go to that
They
Trump
love that
rally.
guy.
Go to the Trump rally this weekend and
Yeah.
look at the people that are out there. Those are blue collar,
Yep,
hardworking
yep,
people. Pull
yep.
yourself up by your bootstraps. Still got grease on their shirt from yesterday.
They love it.
working under the car, and they're out there. They're people that have been camped
Yeah.
out there since Monday.
Yeah. Did you drive by?
No,
I don't think I've seen a bigger following, actually, of a president. It's pretty
no.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, because
he changed politics forever.
He
It's
did. I mean,
fanatical.
Obama brought that in, a lot as well. I think we started to see that with like social media growing at that time, right? Because that's, you dated back when social media was really getting big. But I think Trump brought that difference too. I mean, you have people that
100%.
are really for him, right? And let's take it back to his roots. He's actually Democratic. Right?
Oh, always. Yeah.
So, I mean, he ran for Republican because he was running against a Democratic Hillary Clinton.
Well, he's
You've
like,
never seen anything like this.
quite honestly, I didn't.
You've never seen a following or a
again.
movement like this.
Yeah, I mean, so
Fantastic.
it's crazy
Fantastic
that you
TV.
could really be something your entire life and fund something for your entire life,
Yeah.
and then go to a completely different political stance, and then people actually voted you in.
So you bring up a great point, though, because first of all, social media started really booming. Well, there was MySpace, but I'm talking about like
course,
Facebook and
yeah.
all that. Really around 2006, 2007, that's when Facebook came on the scene, and bam, it started growing. So that was the end of the George W. era. But then Obama was your first real social media president,
Of course.
right? And then of course Trump came on. So that's, politics overall has changed. But you're right. He's like the rest of us. He's socially liberal. Like, I don't care who sleeps with who. Yeah. That's your business. You go do your thing. Yeah. Just don't try to cram it down my throat. All right. I don't. Whatever. You want to be treated as equal. I don't care what your deal is, whether it's sexuality, gender. I don't care. You want to be treated as equal. Stop individualizing yourself and cramming it down everybody's throat. Go be equal.
Yeah.
So we're all socially liberal, but we're fiscally conservative, right? As I said earlier, I don't want big government overreach. I don't want all these new laws in my life. I don't want
regulations.
More and more regulations. Yeah. Do you know how hard it is in the state of Texas just to cut hair?
Huh.
Oh, of course.
I mean, to get all the licensing and the regulations, and I mean, maybe you're great at doing hair, but terrible at filling out applications, right? And so people.
But there are
getting
people
screwed.
with great ideas and that want to open businesses, but they don't even know how to open the business.
They don't even know where to start.
Yeah, because they don't know. They're so afraid of doing something wrong with the government or the IRS that they're like, screw this, I'm not doing it, because they're terrified.
Yeah.
Welcome
to my world.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world. So I won't say names or business, but there's a business right here in Montgomery County, and he was telling me they're franchised around Texas and other states, a few other states, but he was like, I have to deal with 23 different tax entities just to run this business. I mean, that's stupid. The IRS is a criminal organization. Taxation is theft, and then we're ranked sixth. We're ranked sixth in the nation for property taxes. The most immoral tax of all is property tax.
And that's something you're gonna reduce if you become
immediately.
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah.
It's
your property. You should own you don't ever own your property.
Yeah, why are 65-year-olds
No, even if you pay off your house,
you have to own mineral rights, and that's something that a lot of people don't even understand.
Mineral rights plays huge into that.
Huge. Right.
And people don't understand that. They don't have a clue
But
about
you pay off your house, you still don't own it.
No.
Oh, well, of course.
Because you have to pay property
HOAs
taxes every year. If you don't pay it, they take your house.
I talked to someone the other day, and she's got a nice house, $800,000 house, okay? Yeah. But she paid it off. She pays as much now in property taxes as she was paying in mortgage.
Of course.
It's insane. And then why are retirees and 65-year-olds, why are they paying property taxes? Why are veterans paying property taxes? Why is there like 12 different classifications?
Let's give the government some credit.
But then there's like 10 different classifications of how disabled you may be in order to get. I mean, like
you've got to be really fucked up.
I'm just missing a finger, right? A transmission fell out of a Jeep in Kansas while I was working on it, and I was in the Army.
What kind of discount does that get you?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you're gonna get.
Maybe I should get
like 15%.
Maybe if my pecker got cut off, I'd get something, right?
I love the pecker. I love the pecker references.
Pecker, and somebody said, I can't say
pecker references.
Well, it was 2 shows ago, I think, for you, Chad. You said something about if you were governor of Texas and if boys raped people, that you would cut their peckers off.
They put them in the wood chipper.
Yeah.
So I think we should go back. I don't believe in the word bully. I don't believe in it. There's no such thing as bullies. They're just assholes. Yeah. Okay. And so I don't. People are just calling things bullying now. No, it's just life.
That's a political statement.
Yeah. So, my kid's being bullied. Make your kid tougher.
Yeah. Well, then bully back.
I mean.
No, don't do that.
Kick his ass. But here's the thing.
Stand up for yourself.
We need to bring back public shaming. Nobody wants to be ashamed of anything anymore. Right. Nobody has a conscience anymore because there's no shame anymore. So, put them in the stocks. I mean,
make them stand in front of the courthouse with a sign that says,
"Yeah,
I raped a little girl."
Yeah, Hang them.
We all watched GOT, right? Game of Thrones
Yeah,
here. Like,
did.
let's do what
I didn't
happens
I mean,
here, right? Like,
shame.
make you walk through the town naked.
Shame does an
Shame.
incredible job of deterring people from doing dumb things.
Right.
Right.
It does.
Here in Texas, it seems each year the weather's becoming more and more extreme. Heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration maintenance, repair and replacement can no longer be left to your run-of-the-mill contractor. In today's world, you need a company that can provide not only top-notch services, but also provide excellent customer service and is reliable, honest, and professional. Well, folks, we're here to tell you, Texas Refrigeration and AC Services, better known as TX Racks, is the company you've been looking for. Texas-born, Texas-owned, with 30-plus years of experience, TX Racks offers a full range of services for residential and commercial heating, cooling, and refrigeration. If you're looking for the best of the best to handle your preventative maintenance, which will keep your equipment operating efficiently and prevent unnecessary breakdowns. If you're looking for a company that is well-trained in indoor air quality to keep your family and employees healthy and happy. If you're looking for a company with integrity, reliability, and great customer service, look no further. TX Racks has you covered. They offer a full range of air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration services, using the most up-to-date technology and training, with a mobile app to keep you informed about the arrival of your technician and the expert knowledge and experience to evaluate the quality of air you're breathing, along with always providing a live professional to take your call. TX Racks keeps Texas homes and businesses warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and keeps all of us covered with the best warranties in the business. Always on time, always dependable. Call TX Racks for all your cooling, heating, and air quality needs. TX Racks is your go-to in Texas. Always ready to rack up on satisfied customers. Call TX Racks today.
And so, but when it comes to like this Ghislaine Maxwell thing that's going on, she's going to supposedly name 8 John Does. Well, there's 1,000 more than that. Let's get the names out there and put them all in a wood chipper.
Right.
Bottom line, you forfeited your right to live in civil society.
Right.
You're raping children, you're out. You're
Yeah.
done. Bullet to the back of the head, however you want to do it, you're out.
Well, I'll guarantee you it would stop a lot of that.
yeah.
Yeah. Like if let's just say if you if you got caught selling crack, and the punishment was
Who said something?
and the
talked?
And the punishment
Who told?
was like you die. If you get caught selling crack, you get the death penalty.
Yeah.
Like
you think
in
people would
Dubai.
still sell crack?
There are countries around the world where if you do get caught selling anything, you do die. Death is-
They'll cut your hand off.
Oh,
Like,
or they'll cut your
go
hand
to-
off,
go
but
to
they will do
Thailand.
it right then and there. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they'll cane you. You know, I mean, it's there's punishment to these
Yeah.
things. Now, I think and then you mix that with the overbearing of the judicial tyranny that we see, like decriminalize this nonsense like marijuana. And all this
Right.
kind of stuff. I mean, you got guys in prison because they sold some marijuana at some point in time, and they're like, this is just
That's
dumb.
ridiculous.
This is the kind of thing. That's how messed up the balance of the judicial system in America is, right?
Right.
But
We're letting Ghislaine Maxwell.
it's all about money.
That
Oh, can you
influencing
spend
elites.
$10,000 on your attorney? Okay, then you'll get a better deal.
Well, it goes
because
back
the
to
attorneys
it
haven't-
goes back to Magic Johnson and AIDS.
Well, the attorney's
course,
fishing with
money.
the DA and the prosecutor, and they're cutting deals. It's all about the money. It's
Right.
not about justice.
right. That's
I've
why-
seen it.
I've seen it too. That's why even with family courts in the state of Texas,
If
get
you're
ju-
broke, you're screwed.
like even with family courts, get the judges out unless there's a criminal situation that's going on that a judge needs
Yeah.
to step into. When it comes to family law and all that kind of stuff, get judges out of it. Get counselors, get therapists, get the
That mediation.
mediators in there because dads are getting screwed all over the state of Texas, right? That's why I believe in equal parenting. Start from a premise of equal parenting and go
Right.
from there, not just automatically everything goes to mom. But it happens in every area of the judicial. That's why I keep saying we're under all these tyrannies now. We've just kind of let them go, right? So we know government tyranny both on the federal and the state level. You've got educational tyranny, you got judicial tyranny, you got corporate tyranny, you got medical tyranny. We're seeing that happen. You're seeing taxation tyranny that's happening. All these different things, and our necks kind of get sore from having all those boots on it, and we're not going to do anything about it. So, at the end of the day, that's one of the reasons I stepped up and said, screw it. I got the platform. I don't mind. I got the thick skin.
Right.
I'm just going to call things as they are.
Well, we're excited to see what happens.
We could talk for days about it because I think that to play devil's advocate, there's a lot of people that have ran for office, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They get in and they fall into that swamp, and then they change, right? So you've never been in office before.
Right.
You don't know if you were to win, like who's going to persuade you? What kind of people are going to come at you to get you to change? Like,
So what is your dollar amount?
Yeah.
no. But
So you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah.
right. I think you'll stay true to who you are.
Here's why I will. Here's why I will. So as I was saying earlier, that you need to hang the rapists or whatever. Accountability is a huge thing. You have to build accountability. The reason these elites and all these folks get away with everything is because there's no accountability. So what my proposal is the same people who influence me now, the same people who are in my ear, they're not money people or anything else. They're idea people. I would take those same men and women, dozen to 2 dozen people with me to Austin, Texas, and they would be absolute head rollers.
Right.
And one, you're going to insulate me from the garbage, but 2, we're going to carry this out, and we're going to truly get government out of our lives.
Right.
Okay. What does that look like? You start cutting spending. You start cutting state agencies. I mean, there's some nonsense that goes on in the name of government.
Right.
And it's just got to go away. But you got to have those right people around you to keep you on track. Because if you don't, guess what? That swamp, it'll suck you right in.
And that's one thing that I thought Donald Trump was successful at was he did keep a lot of promises that he campaigned on.
Yeah. But the problem is, and you see it happening with Trump now, like his advisors suck right now. Like he has a policy of endorsing any incumbent Republican. That's just his carte blanche policy.
Right.
That's why I endorsed Abbott. That's why I endorsed Mitt Romney, for crying out loud. Why? Because it's a political game. He wants to get reelected. He knows statistically the incumbent's going to keep the seat, and he needs their support.
He can say he was part of why they got reelected or won.
And in 24, yeah, that's true. Right. And then he's taking the statistical bet, and he needs their support come 24. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
well, it's been fun, guys. Real quick before we,
you should do this all the time.
Yeah.
You should do this like once a week.
Yeah,
I'm going to.
definitely.
I'm going to.
It's very therapeutic.
Yeah, this is So this is the first episode, but we're going to do one. We're going to drop an episode once a week for the next. Starting in the last week of February, we'll drop the first episode, and then we'll do 1 episode a week. After 4 episodes, we'll close out season 1, and then we'll start on season 2.
Collect that money, baby.
Yeah, man, we're
bang.
This is very therapeutic. You know, when you get busy in life, like sometimes just sitting down and not thinking about work and everything you got going on, just having a good conversation with friends, and it's great.
It is.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
I'm a big sports fan, though. A lot of people probably know that about me, and I had a question for you before we end this. Just recently, this last week, the Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds were kept out of the Hall of Fame, so they can't. I think they're done. They can't be on the ballot again.
Right.
So, what do you think about that? Do you think Clemens and Bonds should have been let in, or?
Well, they cheated.
I know you're a baseball fan.
They cheated. I mean, if that's the standard, if Pete Rose is not in,
yeah.
That's a travesty right there.
Right.
If Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame, then the dude right now is at the Mirage in Las Vegas signing autographs. That's how Pete Rose makes a living.
But dude, come on, seriously, are they going to keep everybody that cheats out? Are you going to keep Altuve out? Are you going to keep Correa out? Are you going to keep all the Astros players that cheated?
We'll see. Look, now my philosophy, what they're doing, I'm not defending because my philosophy is I say let them all cheat. Right?
Well, they all were cheating.
They all cheated.
In that era,
like
they were all
Clark, cheating. It's like Will Clark said about Altuve and the Astros when he was like, they got caught.
Yeah. But everybody was taking steroids in that time.
Of course they were.
When you think of, I could go do steroids tonight or for the next 3 months and try to throw a baseball. I could never throw a baseball as good as Clemens. And just because you do steroids does not make you a great baseball pitcher.
Yeah, so Bonds could hit it.
Maybe a catcher, but not a pitcher, right?
Hey, Bonds.
This guy loves catching.
Bonds could hit it, 485 instead of 405. But you still have to be able to hit the baseball.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which,
by the way, hitting a baseball, a round bat and a round ball is statistically the hardest thing to do in sports.
For sure.
Because of such small contact being made between two round objects.
You think it's harder than golf?
Yeah, because you have two round objects
how fast
making
the ball's
contact. And both things are moving. So you have a very minuscule point of contact. So it's statistically the hardest thing to do in sports. But, I think they should be let in. But I also think that they should let them do whatever they want to do in the league. Right. You want to juice up? Juice up. Yeah. Move the fences back to 515.
For sure.
Just juice up.
Hey, it goes back to, you're right. You can do whatever you want to your body. Take the vaccine, not take the vaccine. You want to do steroids? Do steroids.
Right. I let
Like,
these
this is
gargantuans
America. This is
go to
America.
Football
Freedom.
game, let gargantuans crush their skulls.
You want to smash a trash can? If you find a way to get, hey, if you can figure out a way without the other team knowing to get an advantage, didn't your Little League coaches always tell you to do that?
Yeah.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying?
Bob Lilly told me over dinner a couple of years ago. Bob Lilly from the Cowboys, he told me, he said, these players in the NFL are weak. Yeah. He said they're weak. That's why they're always injured, because they only go quarter speed at practice.
Right.
He said, you know what they need to do? You want to make them tough? You want to make the game good again? Take the face masks. Take the face masks off. He said, let them go back to playing the way we play.
Honestly,
that would be.
He said, take the face masks off. He said, you'll eliminate everything.
In football?
Yeah. That's why he used to play.
Yeah, they used to have that one bar around the front.
Bob Lilly played with leather mats on their head.
That's when it was real football.
I mean, he's 85 years old now, right? So, but my point being, you want to do this. I mean, look, in the age when they were talking about the balls being juiced, no, the players were juiced. When you got a second baseman, like you got Jeff Bagwell, who's hitting a ball 415 feet consistently, everybody was on the juice, man. Right. Everybody was on the juice.
I guarantee you more than 50%.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 90, 80, 90%.
Look at Barry Bonds' rookie card.
High school kids were juicing.
Look at Sammy Sosa's rookie card. Yeah. I mean, suddenly his head grew. Yeah. I mean, it's all HGH. Yeah. His head was like that ficus tree.
So big. I wish we could pull it up right now, because it is.
I remember Mark McGwire just smashing home runs out of the stadium.
Yeah.
It's like, geez.
And I know guys
hitting like 70 home runs in a season.
Yeah.
Now they hit what's the home run leader, like 40?
Yeah. So no one, obviously, I didn't know if Roger Maris's record would ever fall. Right, 61 home runs in a season, and then those guys were mashing it. Right. Barry Bonds hit 72 in a season. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, and think about how many times he was intentionally walked. Yeah. I mean, if you put it anywhere around the plate, the dude was crushing it.
It looked pretty, though.
Jimmy, I guess before we close out, do you think they should have made it?
What?
Into the Hall of Fame?
I do. I just think that.
Here's a conclusion.
I don't think doing steroids makes you a great baseball player.
Here's the thing.
It makes you stronger, but.
Hall of Fame.
Right.
Or were they famous for what they did?
Yes,
100%.
for sure.
They should be in the Hall of Fame.
I think that's what it was made for, right?
Roger Clemens was one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
No question about it. Barry Bonds was one of the greatest players. He sucked as an outfielder, but he was a great hitter.
Right.
He had no arm. I have a stronger arm right now than Barry Bonds in his prime.
I want to see this. I want to see.
Yeah, you'd see my arm go further than the ball.
Go ahead.
But yeah, Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Hall of,
they still. I
rule keepers.
I take that back. They still have a chance to get in if the Veterans Committee votes them in. It's a very small outside chance. Yeah. But I actually knew that they weren't getting in years and years ago. I had dinner with the granddaughter of the founder of the Hall of Fame in New York City one night, and I sat right next to her, and we had a conversation about the steroid era, and she flat out told me years ago that they were never getting in. Yeah. And another thing on that topic, I think the wrong people are voting.
Why didn't we take this to Vegas?
Huh?
Why didn't we take this to Vegas? Why didn't we bet on this stuff?
Yeah,
Jimmy?
that's true.
You had insider knowledge.
But I think the wrong people are voting. But I probably should have bet on it.
That's usually the case in all things.
Come on, right? Why, you got writers that have never even held a bat in the batter's box that are voting if people get into. I mean, I think it should be other Hall of Famers.
It's like voting. Critics telling you what book or what
exactly.
It should be your peers,
music is good.
right?
For sure.
Yeah. This was fun.
Well, anyways, it was fun.
We didn't drink that beer, but whatever.
Oh, we do.
We're gonna drink it after the show's over.
We do need to try this. Yeah.
We'll give a shout out real quick to Paradigm Brewery out of Tomball, Texas. They this Unforgotten beer, every case that they sell, they're donating a portion of the proceeds to Boots for Troops. So
awesome.
It's kind of a military support themed beer. They sell to HEB, Kroger's. So if you're in HEB or Kroger's, grab a 6-pack. You'll see their big display with the Boots for Troops logo. So shout out to Paradigm.
Don't shop at
Kroger's. And we have Lindsay and I have friends. Lindsay and I have a group of friends that work at Kroger's, and they're like Kroger life, and we say we shop at HEB. But anyways, thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Chad, for coming out and supporting me on my first episode.
Prather2022.com.
No, it's Beto22.com.
You can go to Beto.
You can go to Beto2022.com.
But it just redirects you.
So it gets confusing. So it's Prather2022.com or Beto22.com. Still comes to me.
I told one of my friends that the other day. I was like, dude, you can go to Beto20 or 22.com. And I was like, it goes to chat, and he goes, no, it's not. He like literally Googled it right there on the spot. I was like, I told you.
Oh, I totally just made a joke. I didn't realize that it really went to you.
It really goes to me, yeah.
Oh, well, great.
We troll a few different candidates.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. Had fun. And we will see everybody on the next episode of the Sailor Jimmy podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Sailor Jimmy podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with Jimmy, check us out on the web at sailorjimmy.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/SailorJimmyTX, on Instagram at SailorJimmyTX, and on TikTok at SailorJimmy. We'll see you next time. Here in Texas, it seems each year the weather's becoming more and more extreme. Heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration maintenance, repair and replacement can no longer be left to your run-of-the-mill contractor. In today's world, you need a company that can provide not only top-notch services, but also provide excellent customer service and is reliable, honest, and professional. Well, folks, we're here to tell you, Texas Refrigeration and AC Services, better known as TX Racks, is the company you've been looking for. Texas-born, Texas-owned. With 30-plus years of experience, TX Racks offers a full range of services for residential and commercial heating, cooling, and refrigeration. If you're looking for the best of the best to handle your preventative maintenance, which will keep your equipment operating efficiently and prevent unnecessary breakdowns, if you're looking for a company that is well-trained in indoor air quality to keep your family and employees healthy and happy, if you're looking for a company with integrity, reliability, and great customer service, look no further. TX Racks has you covered. They offer a full range of air conditioning, heating, and refrigeration services, using the most up-to-date technology and training, with a mobile app to keep you informed about the arrival of your technician and the expert knowledge and experience to evaluate the quality of air you're breathing, along with always providing a live professional to take your call. TX Racks keeps Texas homes and businesses warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and keeps all of us covered with the best warranties in the business. Always on time, always dependable. Call TX Racks for all your cooling, heating, and air quality needs. TX Racks is your go-to in Texas. Always ready to